Good evening. Our language is full of tough guy phrases. We think it's good to fight your corner, to knock 'em cold. It's an attitude that may have shaped the life of the heavyweight boxer, literary prize winner and habitual criminal whose story we tell tonight. Here's the testimony of two men who've tried to contain him.
He's intelligent, but he can be very short-tempered, and he has a reputation and has on a number of occasions assaulted staff. He's certainly a reputation for being quite violent.
He was such a physical man. He used to do his jerks and press-ups in the custody office, and they realised potentially they had a very violent man there, and his record spoke for itself.
He's very bright. There's no doubt about his intellectual ability. He's probably brighter than most of those of us who've locked him up.
Some of the things he's done certainly can be classed as evil, but I think he's somewhat of a Jekyll and Hyde character.
Between 1962 and 1985, Paul Sykes was convicted twice of wounding with intent, twice of robbery, once with violence, 5 times of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, once of assault occasioning grievous bodily harm, more than once of assaulting police and prison officers. He's a violent man, and he uses violent language, some of which is an inevitable part of the picture we've built up inside and outside prison of Paul Sykes at large.
Hull Prison's A Wing is a special unit for the most difficult inmates in the prison system. Paul Sykes is one of the 8 men in the unit.
I've had 10.5 years for whacking screws and 10 years for whacking coppers. Yeah. I've never taken a liberty in my life. I've belted a few people. On every case I was in the right, and it were them that were taking the liberties. And I did what John Wayne did, what any sane thinking man would do, punched them right in the fucking ear hole. I'm an expert at violence. I've been at it all my life. I'm not a thief, I'm not a liar, I was brought up on John Wayne pictures. He punches a bad guy on the chin. They cheer him, they give me time.
Paul Sykes is currently in prison for 6 years. He's been locked up for 21 of the last 26 years.
I mean, I'm not an armed robber, a murderer, a rapist. I've got no set modus operandi. It usually involves giving somebody a belt, though. There's some people I've hit and didn't hit them hard enough. And there's some people I should have hit that I didn't. People get stuck in the groove, the thinking gets stuck in the groove. Give them a little belt, you knock the groove out, and then you get their attention. Screws handed in the brains at birth. If you relied on any prison officer's mentality, we wouldn't have discovered the Isle of Man yet. Give you an example. John and I were in my class at school. He's an SO at Leeds, Nick. So I get discharged from prison, Christmas Eve, 1984. Signs me the papers, puts my record away and wishes me a bit of luck, like the way I've gone. I'm back in the Nick, May the 10th, 1985. In that time, I've worn these pumps and trod on French soil, Syrian soil, Indian soil, Malayan soil, Singapore soil, and Russian soil. Just me pumps, these. I've been about a bit. John, when I go in the reception, has moved 18 inches. And he said to me, Paul, you won't have any life left.
Paul Sykes is from Wakefield in West Yorkshire. He grew up on the city's Lupset estate, the only son of Walter and Betty Sykes.
I had never any problems with him as a little boy. He was always a grand lad. And even today, the neighbours that's known him from being a little boy won't hear a word said against him.
When he was 4, Paul was given his first pair of boxing gloves. His father Walter was in his regiment's boxing team while serving 10 years in the army. He left to become a prison officer At home, he taught Paul to box.
Well, I always encourage him to do something every day, do some exercises, some training every day, press-ups and, you know, and belly muscles, you know, only that odd in his legs and let him coming up with it, you know what I mean, don't you? Floor exercises. I used to be laid in bed, giving him a penny for every, you know, doing these, you know. Then we got dumbbells and all that, holding them out and all that, you know, and these.
I was getting bashed in the face at 7 years of age. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday morning, buff, bashed in the face, learning how to box. How can your dad love you if he lets this happen to you 2 or 3 times a week?
Paul's told me, yeah, real hidings for the tiniest misbehaviour. He said they'd been walking down and he's given him a real backhand and nearly knocks his head off. Then they come to a little shop and he'd buy him a big block of Cadbury's. Not a small one, you know, because it does you good. It was chocolate. So he told me that recently in the last few years that he used to whack him regularly going down.
By the age of 17, Paul Sykes had already had his first encounter with the law. His early offences reflected unhappiness at home.
Every illusion that my old man had brought me up on had been shattered. And then I wanted a bit of revenge then. And I deserved what I got. I deserved it.
Within 2 years, his criminal record had grown to 22 offences and, inevitably, his first prison sentence.
After he'd been sentenced, he was only 17. We went down to the cells and they let you go see them before they take them away. And I was absolutely disgusted. And one of the officers rebuked me afterwards because I told him, I said, if I'd have been the judge, I'd have hung you. That I was so disgusted with the things that I'd heard that had been done.
I was made up when they put me in the nick. The door shut, lovely warm cell, and all the books I could read, I was made up. Somebody shouting at me. In fact, being in the nick was easier than being at home. When I first came in prison, you walk through the cell door, and in the corner of your cell is the Bible and the rule book. You picked up the rule book. And after a few years, you can recite that rule book. You can recite it. I know the rules and regulations inside out. I am one of a very, very small minority of Great Britons with a written set of statutory rights. I have got rights. And you say the same. How many people can say that? I've written down my rights, what I'm entitled to. People in the high-rise flats in Salford and Liverpool, they haven't got any Bill of Rights. I have. And I'm one of the people that helped write them. Yeah. 1919, October 1964. There's all amendments all the way. That one, when they got radios, you had to do 4-year sentence before you could have a radio. So I'd done 4 years of my sentence and I got a radio. The only man in the nick with a radio. So when I come out of the nick, I'm done again. 2 doormen in a nightclub. Frightened them to death. They give me 5 years. So I get my radio. You can't have it. I said, well, I've done 4 years. What's the matter with you? And an argument developed from it before I got my radio and everybody else got their radios. When
anybody in authority has challenged him or anything, he's hit them. So do you put that down to the fact that he was taught to box, or wouldn't he have hit them if he hadn't been taught to box? You can't take away from the fact that he's a big fella.
During the 13 years since his first prison sentence, he had been free for just 9 months. Boxing offered the chance to end the cycle of crime. Belatedly, at 30, he started a career as a professional fighter.
So, round 1 of this 8-round heavyweight contest between Paul Sykes of Wakefield, and he's in the black shorts, against Keith Johnson from Barnsley. And this is a really intriguing one, because this man, Paul Sykes, is something of a mystery man. Oh, and already he's in business. Rights and lefts to the head. And Johnson's down, and he's in trouble. What a sensational start. Up at the count of 7. Sykes is a man for whom a tremendous future's been predicted. His first professional fight at the age of 30, and he's giving Johnson a pasting. Rights and lefts to the body. He's like a machine, the man. Surely at this rate, this fight will not last very long at all. 10 seconds to go, and not enough time for Sykes to finish it off, although he's having a jolly good try. 5 seconds to go. Right there to the head. And Keith Johnson has never been so pleased to hear the bell at the end of a round. And that, without question, belongs to Paul Sykes. He's a man for whom big things have been predicted. And in fact, that's it. Johnson's pulled out. And so, without a blow being struck in round 2, the winner, Paul Sykes of Wakefield, in his first professional fight. Now, this is your first professional fight.
Yeah.
What now?
My second professional fight. Then my third, then my fourth, and then like rows of shops, blocks of flats, holiday villas, 750 birds like Joe Bugner.
I encouraged him because I thought Paul's going to be an heavyweight, and there's fortunes in it, isn't there? There's fortunes in boxing, isn't there? If they get a right manager, and I thought he'll only want to get to the top, and then about 3 fights, and he's done it like Bruno. He's done it now, hasn't he? Bruno's made up now. And I thought, I don't know another way for a working class lad to get money.
Tommy Miller, with over 50 years in boxing, was Paul's manager.
Did everything, really, except dedication. Paul took that view like if he was tied up in a gym, it was like being banged up in the neck. While he was going, he was dynamite, and he packed all the holes. He sold tickets like everybody wanted tickets from all over. A lot was gangsters, petty crooks and top villains, but they all come supporting him. Even the police were buying tickets. True as that.
Gentlemen, if I can call you across here. Pardon? Can I call you across here for a second, Paul? That was remarkable. How important is this fight for you on Monday?
Without swearing, it's shit or bust. I'll turn it in if I don't win this. And I've got to win it back in great style. But this is not just got to win, I've got to really the business. He's on a life support machine. You think when you've belted them like they're going to get up at 10. You don't want them to get up at 9, but you want them to get up at 10. I always thought I was a bit of an hard case and a bit, you know, but he's sick of me this morning. It gutted me. You couldn't expect, you know, it was just like, I saw the kid there and 3,000 miles from home. Nobody, no family, no anything.
Yeah, when he did break down, he did break down. It's all right, Paul.
American Dave Wilson needed a month in hospital to recover.
Paul could have gone right to the top quite easily. In fact, I think it was about 1,000 photographs done of Paul saying he was a future world champion. That's how confident I was. He impressed everybody. He did that. And he was always in trouble one way or another. He had always loads of worry on his mind. But he overcome it and went into the ring, and once he got in that ring, he was away.
After only 8 bouts, Sykes got his big chance, a fight against John L. Gardner for the British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles. It was an evenly matched contest as it entered the 6th round.
Well, this is clearly going to be a battle of stamina. It's a question of whose strength gives out first. There's going to be no respite because Gardner's not that sort of man. The end could be very near here. Can't put him down, but he's doing everything else here. And he's turned away, and that was the sign. He's turned away, and that was what Brimmer was waiting for. So the great chance in life for Sykes has come and gone without success.
Paul Sykes was soon back in trouble. His boxing career was over. In 1981, he was jailed for 5 years. He'd taken a contract to intimidate a union official for £1,000. No sooner out, he was assaulting the police and was jailed again, this time for 2.5 years. 3.5 years was added after a fight that put 2 prison physical education instructors into hospital.
What's got me into trouble in the past is having my physique trained as a child, but not my emotions. I've altered the physical side to the intellectual side, if you want, the academic side, that using my brain instead of my body. It's all the same machine, and I didn't realise I'd got such a good brain until I took the wraps off and started using it. I've got a brilliant brain, and I'll tell you why I've got one. Because right from being a kid, I have been standing in a boxing ring. If you haven't got your wits about you, you're going to get bashed. All those years of having my wits about me has given me terrific eyesight, good hearing, a brilliant sense of atmospheric changes. I've learned how to interpret them as I've got older. I've read and read and read and read. Richard Powell, he's a good author, I like him. Norman Mailer, for storytelling. R.F. Delderfield, A.J. Cronin, Howard Spring, J.D. MacDonald, Nicholas Montserrat. There's so many good authors. The French one, Sabatini, Hugo, so many that I admire.
Three years ago, Paul Sykes started writing. He began on an account of the 2 years up to the end of his boxing career.
Well, be fit to write. You've got to concentrate. 2 or 3 hours every day, deep concentration. And you've got to train yourself to be able to get to that level. You can't write trivia. It's not Trivial Pursuit writing. And I'm not writing crap. I'm not writing rubbish. And once I've started writing, you're opening doors that you think are shut. And you realise how much input your senses have received. And I can remember smells and tastes and colours and atmospheres. It makes all the difference, because I only write the truth. I don't make anything up. I write the truth. And they say, truth is better than fiction. And in my case, it certainly is.
His work, entitled Sweet Agony, won a Koestler Award for Artistic Achievement in Prison.
It was so clear I could read the time on the cathedral clock through the front window. It was 10:10 when she walked past the house. A girl so startlingly attractive I held my breath. She was our Kay's mate, little Kath from across the road. She was a schoolgirl, untouched and virginal. She had to be, she was only 15.
Kath Nicholson grew up on the Luxett estate, living in the same street as the Sykes family. She became Paul's girlfriend despite an age gap of 15 years.
We're friends, as well as anything else, we're friends. And I think you need that. We've always remained friends throughout the past 12 years. We never fell out.
Do you know when I come in prison, don't you? I own part of the telephone system, yeah? All of a sudden now, they've took it off me. Never asked if they could. And there's 1% of the population own it. And when I come in prison, you used to get 2 minutes, 20 seconds for a 10p coin. Now it's privatised, 1% of the population. It's 38p a minute or something, yeah? Yeah. Well, how do you go about doing something that... making matters right, like? What do you do? You wind people up, don't you? And I'm good at winding people up. Ask any of these screws. I've always had colourful cellmates. I did all the train robbers sentence with them. Tommy Wisby and Jimmy Hussey and Roy James. Ronnie Bender and the Lambrianos and Eddie Richardson and Frankie Fraser and Roy Short and Freddie Mills and every face that you can think of that's ever been in prison, I've done time with them. I don't want to be with drips and cornflakes and lumps of wood. I want to be kids with that's a laugh, that breaks the monotony and comes out with something different, original. Yeah, characters. There's no characters now. Most of the kids in here are not going to get out. Looking forward to a furnished suite at Park Lane, a Broadmoor or somewhere. That's it.
But after 4.5 years, Paul Sykes is due for release.
When your next door neighbour's a mass murderer and all, and then all of a sudden you took out, yeah, that takes a bit of getting used to. Trusting people again. But I'll be all right. I think I shall be able to cope, and I've got some good people on my side. I'm right smack in the family patch. relatives and friends and kids, and a beautiful missus that loves me. That makes a difference, you know, when you're in company that love you.
September the 8th, 1989, and freedom.
I know all the pitfalls I've faced before, but they've all been centred around that thought. Fuck this, I want happier in the nick. As soon as I think that, I'm on my way back.
At 8 in the morning, he's met by Mick Sr. and his wife Carol, who've travelled over from Wakefield with Kath.
We home?
Yes, this is it.
What do you reckon then, old pal? Hey? We've got about 30 years left. We've got about... I'm out, it's done, it's finished, it's over. That's another one. Come on, let's go home. Let's get home. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Get on at the bottom. It's all kinds of... When you look at the amount of traffic that there is, and remember what the Conservative Party announced a few years ago. Oh, no, not a few years ago, a few months ago in the paper that they're spending £216 billion on extending the motorways, widening motorways and building new motorways to deal with the increase in traffic in the year 2025. When, and you can see for yourself, petrol runs out in 2019, so what they're talking about. All the kidding. They're building them for skateboards. What's the light doing on? What's the light doing on, Kath? I've told you my statutory right in prison is to be in a room where you don't require artificial light. Yeah, why is that? Because it's medical. If it's a statutory right, it's medical. So, I don't wear glasses. Now then, just give it a second while your eyes adjust. Yeah? Are we right now? Yeah? If you don't use your eye muscles, they atrophy. Might as well not have them. I'm home. Yes, Paul. Oh, I love you. It's been a long way, hasn't it? It'll be right, Kath, you'll see. We can put a tea then.
We always hoped that when he came out that there'd be a fresh start, and there's always been something there for him to come to. But then next thing you know is it's somebody else and is back again.
You've got to use every sense that you're given, and people are having them chuck off and they're being atrophied with them. Televisions and radios, and their hearing doesn't work, and their eyes don't work, and they're daft. And why are they daft? They want them to die early. Why do they want them to die early? There's 6 billion of us, that's why they want them to die early, and there's not enough food. We've got to look after the food, we've got to feed the kids. We're living wherever our kids are living. And we've got 2 railings there. And our Adam, we've got a good family, Kath, and it's our duty to look after them. And I'm going to tell you something else. It tells you that in here. But you know I'm not a Christian, don't you? Listen, I'm going to make a cup of tea. Yeah? You know what they say now in the nick? What would they say now in the nick when I start like this? What would they... Yes, Paul, I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'm a wonderful citizen. How do you think I've got this house and where I'm living now if I wasn't? They've given me this council. We've got the best... This is the best little city on earth. How do I know? I've been everywhere else. I'm here now, right on the family patch. Yeah, I know where it is. I've been. Nobody can tell me anything. I don't read Daily Mirror and so on. I go and have a look. I go and have a look, and I've been. I've lived in the forests of North America. I've lived in the outback of the Ivory Coast. I've lived in India and Russia. I had my breakfast in Moscow, my tea in Wood Street, Nick. Yeah, I've been about a bit. I'm the only man in the history of mankind that has swum across the Straits of Johor. I had to avoid a police launch. It was either that or Changi, Nick. They've got me passport in Singapore. Yeah, I swam it. Yeah, nobody's ever done it before, not because of the currents or anything like that, nothing like that. It's sharks. It's not shark infested, but none of the locals go paddling. Yeah, I swum it. I know about sharks, yeah. I'm 6'3" and 16 stone, 200 weight, yeah, I'm swimming. These pumps, see these pumps, these were hanging around my neck when I done it, yeah. I thought, well, jaws are the conditioner, I know how to condition people, yeah, jaws, boom, 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 yeah. They're just flying about, you've got an art job work, yeah. Sharks, they'll have a look at me and think, yeah, I know how to do them, you punch them right in the fucking ear hole and they swim off.
Paul Sykes has been held in 18 different prisons, including Wakefield. Although not at the time when the prison officers there included his father, Walter.
I know what it's like in prison, because I work there. And it's not so good slopping out every morning and no running water. And they're living like animals, aren't they? They're just like animals in prison.
My dad's an old screw. He loves to give orders. Can't do anything, but he can give orders out like. I've told him that he ain't got to give me any more orders. He's 77 now, and he can't do it. He's got cancer and he's dropping to bits and all that, like screws do. And I've told him to shut up.
He's run me down too much. He did yesterday, even yesterday. I went into Alcasius, in there with the young fella, and he started slagging me, calling me useless. I'd never done nothing, couldn't do anything, never had done, and never will do. You're just a useless, and he swore. And he said, sit down, and I come out. I didn't sit down, but I thought he was coming after me, didn't. And I walked down here as sick as a pig. I walked down to our house, and I thought, well, if that's the only lad I've got can talk to me like that, it's time I packed in. It's time I thought, give it up, this game. Families.
He's a dickhead, he's as daft as a brush, but he's honest and he's trustworthy, and you can put your life on me dad. He's no bottle. Plenty of shouting, can give orders, and he's... Well, have a look at him. He's got a finger missing for a start. He gives somebody a belt in the teeth. It's gone rotten. It's fell off like he's had to have it amputated, yeah? He's blind. All my life, I can never, ever remember Dad. My dad, at least twice a week, he's come home with dog shit on his shoes. That's how clever he is.
How much sort of fatherly love is there left for a son?
Not much. Not much. You might as well say it up to lives anywhere else. Not much. It's all gone. It's all gone.
Do I love him? I am the only person on earth allowed to call him a useless bastard. Nobody else can call him it. Just me. Nobody else can call him it. He's my dad.
Every time he's come home, I've kept hoping and hoping that he would alter. He was going to come out and he was going to work and he was going to write, he was going to do this. He's done nothing. Only go out and meet up with his old cronies. Well, things don't look good.
In mid-October, at home on the Lupset estate, Paul and Kath prepared for their wedding, a service to be conducted by Delroy Showers, an old prison friend.
Yeah, right, Delroy.
In the hotel I booked into, I brought the Gideons along, so that should help.
You don't need them.
Oh, you got the Gideons there?
I've got the Titanic and all business.
The Living Bible.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going through a formal process?
You're going to have to. That's what it's all about. I thought it was funny, my leg.
No. Yes, it's an acid. Okay, let's describe it. It's an acid house wedding. Do you really want to go through a process? Because I can stand firm.
What do you want to do? Go for it? You want to go for it?
Yeah, he wants it.
Yeah, okay. I'll read the text that I just done a bit of work on.
Leviticus. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Not Leviticus, the lawmaker. We've had enough lawmakers in our life. I feel this is almost Monty Python-esque, and it's very difficult for me, so please bear with me. I have selected a number of texts. They're all rather sexist on the modern ear, as it's always discussions about how obedient the wife should be. And I think in this particular union, Paul needs to be somewhat obedient to some of Kathy's perceptions and ideas and feelings.
We made the rules up before we started, Del. Paul, I never give her a reason not
no
to.
arguments, otherwise the divorce takes process before the marriage.
She can't divorce me.
Okay, let's go into it.
She can't divorce me.
Please be quiet.
I'm telling you that. That's the rules. I never give her a reason not to love me. And that's the rules. You watch all this out between us.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, you know that. So
yes,
you're posh about that.
Yes.
But we're not fucking Christians either.
Yes, okay.
You gotta remember that.
Paul.
Listen, I never give her a reason not to love me.
Paul, you're making it very difficult for Kath, Paul.
I'm not Christian.
Paul, I really can't continue this. I know it's something somewhat pantomimic. Paul, please, can we continue? This is chapter 19, verses 4 to 6, and it's
I'm not playing.
It's the...
I'm not fucking playing. I'm not playing. I'm not playing at Christian fucking pretending shit. The rules are this. I never get... She's got a nipper of mine 11 and another one 3. And I'll never give her a reason not to love me. That's the rules. She's slung a lot in with me, yeah? She's slung it like, why do they say women and children first when there's a boat sinking? Because they're not built to survive. She's slung a lot in with me because I'm a survivor. Dead right. We're okay, we're married. And that's it, she's mine. She can't fucking divorce me.
Okay, I suppose at the end of the day that's about the best...
And I swear that by God.
I suppose at the end of the day that's the best route out, but...
Yeah, right, Del.
I feel like a rather large gooseberry.
Yeah, you're not, Del. You're dead right.
Okay.
You're dead right, man. Thank you, Wick. First one to congratulate you. Cheers, Rocky. Yeah, that's a compliment.
The psychiatrists don't blame his father, so I don't know. I do, but you can't really, not when you've no proof.
I was a bit strict with him. Yeah, I was strict. Yeah. But anyway, what's gone's gone, isn't it? It's the future what counts.
You don't have to answer my husband back. You don't have to have an opinion. You have his opinion. Who's the best jockey, who's the best footballer, He knows, so you don't argue. Otherwise, it goes irate. I've been used to brutality with my husband. Perhaps that's why Paul thinks you've got to use force, because his dad's always used force.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's it then. Why did I click you in the rear hole to show you that your fucking hands were useless in your pocket? They're there stop to them. They're there to protect you, not in your pockets, giving in. Have you ever seen a kid trip up climbing stairs, going downstairs with his hands in his pockets, or going up? Yeah, right. You need your fucking hands. That's why you've got them. Give it a lot of thought, being a father. I have. I couldn't not with a father like I had. He made some cock-ups, my dad. I don't want to make any cock-ups like he made. Oh, look at this here. Got my kids at home. They don't know a father's love. They've never had a father's love. And I don't know a son's love either. I don't know a kid's love. I've never experienced it. It's good water, innit? I think I'm getting through to my kids. I hope I am. I hope I'm getting through to them. I hope they're not causing any trouble and stealing and pits. I hope they're doing as I'm telling them to do. I don't ask them to do anything. I don't ask them to do a thing. You'll be laughing because it's a funny matter in this. Kath had 2 tenors in her purse last night. When she come home, a tenner had been took out and 8 quid had been put back. Do you think I'm making it up?
No.
So what you got to say about it then?
No.
Well, who would you say it was? Everything you? Huh, Ryan?
No.
Well, who would you say? Who would you blame? You've got to blame our Paul. Who would you say? He denies it.
It was that, then.
Of course you would. One of your evil bastards is blaming the other when you know full well it's not him. And it ain't funny. It ain't funny being accused of being a thief. It's not funny being a thief. I'm going to tell you this, you better start remembering what you're doing, and when I ask you a question, I want an answer. I don't want none of that dickhead talking to your tutor shit, talking to a screw shit. You're talking to me, yeah? And I want some out of you. I want some response. Not none of that vacant lot, and lock me in my cell. I won't lock you in your cell, beat you fucking... You don't know how close you are, you to a good hiding. A proper 16-year-old good hiding. Don't clip round fucking ear hole. You're winding me up. Anyway, both of you piss off, go and get out. You drive me up the wall. You sicken me, the pair of you. They do, they wind me up. He winds me up. They're both liars, and he just smirks and grins and everything. I know it's him. He went through my pockets last night when I come in. One despicable, dirty oh, I'm telling you. Telling you, what I'm going to do with him. I'm going to have to beat him up. I'm going to have to do. Because he don't take anything serious unless you do, you know. Don't take anything serious. That's what you've got to do. That's the only way you can get his brain to work, knock out all the shit thoughts. Well, he ain't got any thoughts. He knock out the vapour fumes from the glue years ago. Go knock them out of him. That's what you've got to do and get him back on this planet. Did you see him? Sat there like a drip sprawled out. He's a terrible disgrace of a lad. Am I to blame? I don't know. He'd still be a useless bastard whether I'd have been there or not.
Within 3 months, Paul was in trouble, accused of attacking a pub customer with a billiard cue. Then he had a violent argument with a club doorman. On each case, he was found not guilty.
The trouble that I've been in has been no more than adjusting to the rules and the social patterns and levels and of this new prison I'm in. That's all.
Next, he was locked up for 3 days. He'd broken a bail restriction on entering any pubs in the Wakefield area, a ban that lasted 8 months. Paul has always been a drinker.
If I have 5 pints of beer every day, I'm not drunk, it don't affect me one way or the other, but it just keeps me ticking over lovely. Apart from it helping me sleep, keeping my bowels working and all this carry on, I ruptured a kidney in 1968 playing football. And I have to have about 12 pints of fluid every day just to keep it in a state of hydration. Yeah, well, he's entitled to blow his trumpet. You should see the gaff though where he lives.
What are you giving this? Get it over there.
What's that?
That.
I didn't mean it did.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do it. Let's swap.
No.
Go on, I'll something on that. Yeah, you can't help smoking. But for me, I like being drunk. And in fact, people... I've never had any complaints about me being drunk. You know, if I have got drunk, I still manage to keep my wits about me, although I don't remember that I have done. It's good, yeah. But it runs in the family anyway. I don't want to make you jump, Kenny.
Oh, hello, Paul.
I've come
Great
to
to see you. How are you?
I've come to ask you to do me a favour.
What?
As you can see, I'm not the world's best dressed man, am I? But that's no fault of yours, that's my own fault. And I need an evening suit. A top, jolly evening suit. And I need a bit of credit, Ken.
Yes. Oh, well, right then, I'll measure you. What is it for, anyway, Paul, this? What is
this? No, what I've done, you know Bobby Diamond, Bob Shaw?
Yeah.
Paul Summers.
Yeah.
Too true. They're putting on a show for me for nothing. At Lupsit Working Men's Club, I've written the letters to the committee. I've got the unanimous backing of the committee.
I see.
They've got
44.
I've got this show on anyway.
Yeah.
And all the proceeds, the raffle prizes and the tickets on the door are all going towards to start the Lupsit Boys Club, which I've got St George's Church Hall. They're all one style out there, didn't they?
No, there's double-breasted.
No, I like the link button in the show.
Single-breasted, with a shawl collar.
Yeah, shawl collar, you've got it link button.
That's right.
That'll do supersonic. So I don't get my chest out,
Yeah.
Looks well, and all my frills.
So we'll get you in for a fitting. as soon as possible, then
We'll just give us
I'll
a
give you a ring.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Paul.
Okay,
right.
thanks. Look after yourself.
I'll see you later then.
Okay, look
Yeah,
after
thanks a
yourself,
lot.
Kerry. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
All I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. And all I ever knew, only you.
Now, you know what tonight's all about? Tonight's all about a youth club, and this idea has come from a young man who wants it to succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome on stage and make him feel at home, ladies and Mr. Paul Sykes. Will you please bring him on stage? Very much. Come on, Paul. I'll bring them, don't worry about them. I'll get you a table.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Have you brought raffle? Good evening. We've got to draw raffle. I don't know whether we've drawn raffle or we haven't drawn raffle. I'm not bothered. But let me tell you what the prizes are. You've got your choice. This is an ivory necklace. I don't want you to go anywhere with televisions and shit, Japanese plastic. I want you to go away with something you'll remember tonight with. I bought this off a kid outside the Ikoyi Hotel in Lagos in Nigeria. It's ivory, and it's beautiful, and it's worth a lot of money. And it was mine. That's the first one. Now then, the second one is, listen, I'm sorry, I'm not used to all this. It's a Patrick Mackay original painting. An original. I know. Well, you've never heard of Patrick Mackay. I doubt if you know much about painting, but Patrick Mackay is in the ABC book of mass murderers, and he's a mate of mine. I'm doing this because I want to help the kids. Yeah, and yeah, that's all. I'll train them and I'll send them which way to go, and I want you to send your kids to me, and I'll look after them.
The Lupset Boys Club opened on Paul Sykes' 44th birthday. 24 boys joined at the first of the weekly training sessions.
That's better, that's good, that's good. I'm using the image that I create to gain their respect. 1, 2, 3. And I can prove it, I can lead by example, and I can show them, and I can bully them into it, and I can give them the feeling of belonging. Very, very good. To the working class kids, they are the calluses on the hands of mankind, and they're going soft because there's no work to be done. Speed, that's good style, that's good style. Somebody should be about finishing now any time. Don't look at me. Keep your head in front of you. A boys' club based on survival. That's what it's about. How to survive. And you won't survive. Tell me whether it's an advantage to be weak. Get your step up, son. Get your step up, son, you. Come on. Straighten them legs out. Come on, straighten them legs out. Straighten them right out.
Since his release, Paul has had no regular income.
Well, I got me £32.95 on September the 8th last year. And I'm down to my last 4 pence.
To make a living, he's had to start his own business.
The last resort debt collecting agency, threatened a grams of specialty. There's always somebody wants somebody bashing. For whatever reason, it's usually money. Once you get beaten up, that's your debt cancelled, and then you'll have me to pay in the debt, and you don't get your money anyway. And invariably, if they have got the money, I do get it. I do get it. I don't break the law. You know, I just appear one morning at 8 o'clock and make myself welcome. Yeah, that's what I do. I once caught a fella. He'd been messing about for months and months, and I caught him 5 minutes after he'd been married in the toilet in the hotel where they were having his reception. And I told him that unless he'd come up with something here and now, we're going to stick his head right through the wedding cake and cover him in blancmanges and just generally cause mayhem. Well, I wandered in, I followed him, and he took his wife's engagement ring off, and that just about covered the debt. That was dead right. I don't advertise in the Yellow Pages. Word of mouth.
One person who recommends the services of the Last Resort Debt Collecting Agency is local businessman Dennis Flint. He lined up a job that took Paul to Spain.
Dennis, how you there, my old pal? How are you?
How are you, my love? Did you make a living out of it, Paul? That's the main thing. Did you get your wages? Did you get your wages?
380 quid in front and a trip to Spain.
And a trip to Spain. How long for?
Went on about 4 days. Went on the Wednesday and come back on the Monday or something like that.
So you had a bit of a good time as well?
I had a few swims in the old Mediterranean.
That's okay then.
I've been going on. Well, I don't know how you come to meet that one.
Paul's English client had 2 debts outstanding, but only one could be collected.
They've rung me up and they've stuck your name up, Dennis.
Yeah.
I thought, well, that can't be so bad. You know, Lord of the
I'm advertising you, Paul.
Knocked on the door. Like, this is early in the morning. She floats to the door. She's 70. This is his mother. So I explained the case to her.
What do you say? What do you say to her?
I said, well, really, I'm looking...
You've come here for some money?
I said, yeah, of course I did. Of course I did, straight away. But she doesn't owe the money. He's in Canada. His wife's mother has suddenly got cancer and he's gone to Canada. So I gets into the old lady and she don't... But obviously with this kind of opulence, she's not worried about 4 grand, is she? I mean, she can just sell the buggy in the drive.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's reproduction. Anyway, oh, no, it's reproduction. And she's there, hard as nails. East End of London, got it in her eyes like Jaws.
Yeah?
So, yeah, got it. So she knows the SP. So I said, well, you must have a few quid. You must be able to sort something out, I said, and, you know, on your son's behalf. She said, Manny, she said, you know, we haven't any servants. Oh, I said, I'm sorry for you. I said, I really am, I'm sorry for you. Well, that was it. But she don't, oh, Penny, it's a lad. What owns it? Penny's in Canada.
Yeah.
You're gasping for a bevy, Dennis. Have you got a bevy? Go give us a bevy, go.
You know I don't like you drinking here, don't you?
Dennis, I'm over 18.
I've always told you before.
I
don't like you smoking roll-ups and I don't like you drinking my beer. When you come to my house...
It's a man's right. This is a man's right to get drunk.
Hey.
He's not allowed to get disorderly.
Hey,
you'll
get bloody disorderly. When you haven't had a drink, you're an educated man, OK?
Yeah.
When you've had a drink, you're a fucking maniac, OK? Anyway, I'll give you a drink, OK?
I should think so.
All right?
I should think so. It deserves a drink.
It'll cost you... well, how much is beer, Paul? How much is beer? I don't drink beer, so...
80 pence a pint.
80 pence a pint. So that's a little 80 pence on me investment. Okay.
Dennis Flint has put money into the publication of Paul's book, Sweet Agony.
It's going well. It's going well. It's at the printers. It's the bee's knees.
Is it?
It's all, yeah, it's dead right.
Yeah, it's coming on all right. Because,
it is, yeah.
I've just
definite date.
I just come back from Turkey, as you know. I've been there 3 months now.
Yeah.
You know, and all I've been thinking about is my investment.
We've seen the jacket design. We like it.
Happy with it?
Like it. We're happy with the jacket design. Yeah? Yeah, sure. Paul running away. Being chased.
Yeah, being chased by
everybody in his life.
Sweet Agony's publisher is Lofthouse Publications of Pontefract. Its owner, Stephen Lofthouse, has few reservations.
Sweet Agony has got literary merit. We were sure of that when we first read it. But above all that, all our readers, male and female, have thought it a very good read. They've all enjoyed it. They haven't been able to put it down. They've turned the pages over and they've enjoyed it.
It can't possibly fail to sell. It's a good story. It is a good story and it's funny. And people want to laugh these days. They want a good laugh. But it's a well-written book. It won the Kersler Award, and that was its test. It had not been edited, it had not been to publishers, it had not been anywhere, just as it were written. It's not given out every year that you've got to win it. So that gave me all the confidence I needed. That gave me all the confidence. I thought, well, it's got literary merit. I must have been in the nick with at least 3 million cons and another 100,000 screws. And I think they'll bite just to see if they're in it, for a start. Oh, I think it'll burst on the scene like The Virgin Soldiers of Saturday Night and Sunday Morning. They're both first-time books. They're both autobiographical. You know, Alan Sillitoe and Leslie Thomas, and they're both well-established authors now. I think it'll burst on the scene as in that similar vein.
He thinks he's somebody and he's not. He's just somebody that's been in prison all his life. And there's nothing clever about that.
This is the first time I've ever come out of prison where I've not forgotten about it within about 2 hours. It's with me every minute of every day's a nick. Can't be a dad in the nick, can I? How can I be a dad in the nick? But I do miss it, yes. I like the peace and the quiet. I enjoy all that. Not having to worry where the next meal's coming from. I've got all that to do out here. Yeah, of course I miss it. The security of it, the doors shut, and I'm all right, thank you very much.
Oh, when he talks sensible, I think there's hope, and I think that it's going to make something eventually. But eventually, he ain't got a lot of time left, has he? 40-odd.
I've got this far now. There'll be no bubble bursting. And with a little bit of help from my friends, I'll finish the course. I'll finish the course.
So far, Paul Sykes has managed to stay out of prison, and he and Kath are about to have another baby. With no regular job, he's pinning all his hopes on his new book, and it's already sold 2,000 copies of a 10,000-copy print run. We'll be back in the new year, in fact, on New Year's Day, so until then, good night.